Happy Saturday, everyone. I hope your coffee's strong and your breakfast hits the spot. Well, after celebrating 12 months on Mounjaro this week, I'm pleased to say the scales have continued to move in the right direction because this week I lost another £1. Now, a pound might not sound like much, but after a year on this journey, I've learned that progress isn't always about the big weeks. It's not about losing £4 or £3. Sometimes it's just about being consistent, sticking to the plan, and letting those smaller wins add up over time. So, in this week's Saturday Check In chilled out version of Amanda's Midlife, I'll share my latest weight, I'll answer some of your questions, I'll share this week's pet peeve of the week, I'll talk about how things are going right now, but I'd also like to give a special shout out to one of our regular viewers who has had a very eventful week and deserves all our best wishes and good luck. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into this week's Saturday Check-In. Hello everyone, so I'm Amanda's Midlife, and this channel is all about sharing every part of my medicated weight loss journey in an honest and an open way. Every Sunday I inject 10 milligrams of Mounjaro into my podgy belly, and today I have lost 79 pounds. Oh, so close to that 80. So this week I lost another £1. And yeah, that does feel like a small loss, but I really feel like my weight loss has sort of turned a corner at the moment, and I couldn't be happier. I'm 12 months in, I'm 79 pounds. Yeah, I am so content at the moment. I feel like I'm so in the zone. Things are all pretty good. One thing I need to mention is I haven't been to the gym this week, but I did have a physio appointment for my shoulder bicep tendon thingy issue. And the physio is adamant that rest is the only way forward. Now, when he says rest, I can continue to do cardio, I can continue to do legs, squats, all that kind of stuff. It's not a problem. So it will be treadmill, bike. Yeah, cardio is going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. What I want to say is I really do appreciate all the comments with all the amazing advice that people have been giving me. And it makes me realise with a lot of gratitude the value in this channel and the weight loss Mounjaro community. So on the whole, I think this week's been a success. But if you watched last week's check-in video, you may remember this. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this update is side effects, because without any fanfare and almost magically, my sulfur bouts have disappeared. Well, it's almost like I tempted fate, because guess what came back on Tuesday? Only for one day. The chemical warfare of all side effects returned, and it's been grim. For whatever reason, it always turns up on a Tuesday, and by Wednesday when I wake up, it's gone. If anyone can shed any light on that, pop it down below in the comments and let me know what's going on, because it's the weirdest thing ever, and it literally is like clockwork. And the fact I thought it had disappeared, yeah, it's all a bit strange. Right, quickly before we move on to this week's questions that you have sent in and pet peeve of the week, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to one of our community members, Derek. Now, he shared in the comments this week that he unfortunately suffered a heart attack, needed emergency treatment, and a couple of stents fitted. Thankfully, Derek has said he's back on the mend. Derek, if you're watching, all of us are wishing you a speedy recovery, and we're glad you're okay, and of course you're still with us. Please take care of yourself, and honestly, keep me updated on how you're doing. But mostly, get well soon, Derek. So we're going to make a start on the questions that you've been sent in by you this week. If you do have a question for Q&A, Saturday check-in video, pop it down below and you will feature on a future Saturday video. Now, the first question is from Dr. 11141. What is your workout routine exactly? What exercises do you do? Now, until I had my recent sort of shoulder bicep diagnosis a week or so ago, that's completely changed. Before that, it was all about free weights. It was all push-pull and presses. So I'm only working out for between 30 and 45 minutes most days, 3 or 4 times a week. So it would be chest one day, back another day, arms, and of course shoulders. Now that's completely changed. I haven't been to the gym in this past week, but like I say, it was free weight section, none of the machines, just bench work, and that was it. The future with the shoulder injury, 2 to 3 months away from doing push, pull, press, all that kind of stuff, is all going to be about cardio, bikes, running machine, that kind of stuff, and squats, and I'm going to start doing legs. I've always avoided legs because I felt that my legs, yes, I used to do a lot of cycling, and also they were used to carrying around nearly 23 stone every day of the week. Rightly or wrongly, probably wrongly, I have always avoided legs. Next up, a very similar question to one that was asked on last week's Saturday check-in from Lucy Saunders 2600. Thoughts on Reta? Have you tried it? Will you be trying it? Supposedly the king of GLPs. Like I said, previously mentioned this one, I am not prepared to either take or recommend anyone take a medication or a drug that's not been approved, not been tested, and not been released for general use, albeit via prescription or not. I won't be trying it. As simple as that. If it gets released and gets approved, then depending on price point, it may be something I try in the future, but I'm more than happy taking the Mounjaro at the moment, with possibly one eye on the fact that when I move into maintenance, I possibly may move to Wegovy. It's cheaper, or the Wegovy pill, because again, that looks like it's going to be priced a tiny bit cheaper than the jabs. As I sit here today, not happening. And if anyone chooses to do that, they do so entirely at their own risk. It's not something that I'm prepared to risk at this time. Right, so a great question now from Scott Mounjaro. Q&A, what you miss about the old you 12 months ago, and where do you see yourself for your journey next 12 months? This sounds like an interview question, doesn't it? What do I miss? It's hard to miss any of it, isn't it? I was a mess. I was a state. There's a tiny bit of me, and I know we're possibly all on the same journey if we're watching this. There's a little bit of me that misses, and this is going to sound awful, so I do apologise. I do miss that feeling when you stuff yourself silly and you sit back and you go, oh, that was lovely. I miss that because your portion size is taking Mounjaro a lot smaller. You're unable to eat as much as you were previously, but you don't quite get that feeling of satisfaction you used to get before you started the medication. That would be the one thing I miss. It's hard to say you're going to miss anything after losing 6 stone. I don't miss wearing bigger clothes. I don't miss the physicality of being larger. I don't miss the mobility issues. For me, it's a no-brainer. There's nothing that I would miss. Where do I see myself on my journey in 12 months' time? I'm going to be moving into maintenance, hopefully within the next 4 to 8 weeks, I would hope. And it may be that I even quit the plan to reach go away if it almost feels like at the moment it's unachievable. I've not lost a huge amount of weight recently, and we're talking months. I've been sort of £2 off, 1 on, £2 off, 3 on for quite a while. Almost like my body feels like, or my mindset feels like I'm in maintenance already. So ultimately, at some point, I'm going to move into maintenance. And I would hope that I'm sat here in 12 months' time with a YouTube channel, talking to you about maintenance, talking to you about midlife health, talking to you about wellness, and looking back, being able to give people like yourself, Scott, the advice and the guidance that you need as part of this journey. But as always, Scott, fantastic questions. If you get a minute, not right now because you're going to skip this video, if you get a minute later, check out Scott's channel because it's a really good channel and his videos are getting better and better week on week. And he's lost a shed load of weight now as well. Quickly, before we move on to the final question of the day and pet peeve of the week, if you're on a medicated weight loss journey, you will know how important protein is. One of the things I focused on throughout my entire journey is making sure I get enough protein in every single day. And that's where this from Protein Works has come in. So this is the Diet Meal 360 in Speculoos biscuit flavour. And that's like a Biscoff flavour. Now, whether it's a quick shake, something to keep me full in between meals, or helping me hit my protein target and calorie targets without really overcomplicating things, they have become a regular part of my routine. I'll pop a link in the description, use my discount code MDM and go take a look. But in the meantime, this stuff is amazing. 241 calories and we're made with water and 20 grams of protein. Right, let's get on with the rest of the video. So our final question of this week's Saturday check-in video is from KYDV. I know you've mentioned taking your shots in the belly, but have you experimented and tried different areas, back of the arm, thigh? I've found that my greatest food suppression is the belly, about 3 inches from my belly button. I have tried different sites to give the belly a rest, but prefer the belly. I've always done it in the belly, and I do alternate it below, left, right, above, left, right. And I've never tried arms because that to me feels really tender, so I'm not putting a needle anywhere near that. Tried it once in my leg, and I did mention it in a video, it was quite a while ago. And after I did it, I had the worst side effects. I was bloated, the sulfur burps, terrible, and didn't feel great at all. So I have avoided doing it in the leg since, albeit I do, as mentioned earlier in the video, still get the side effects. There's a lot of people out there saying they get different side effects and different effects using different parts of the body. And I've also read recently, I was watching a reel on Instagram, and this chap that's been on Mounjaro for quite a while now mentioned that he doesn't get any effects now by injecting in his belly. So he's moved to his legs because it just stopped working from the belly. It is purely anecdotal, isn't it? Whether there's any science in it, if you know there's any science in it, let me know down below. But that is the final question of this week. Once again, if you've got a question for Q&A, pop it in the comments and you will feature on a future Saturday check-in video. So this week's pet peeve of the week, and it is from Chris Passmore 4461. Sure, this will have been said many times. I met someone I hadn't seen for 12 months and she'd commented I've lost weight. I fessed that I'd been taking Mounjaro, and her response was that her husband had lost 6 stone naturally. She's never said well done. Her inference was more akin to cheating. Whilst MJ helps, this is far from a walk in the park. Absolutely agree. I've had it many, many times. I've had it recently in work where one of the lads has lost a bit of weight and made a big point. I've done it naturally. I've done it the right way. You are absolutely spot on, Chris. The Mounjaro is a tool. It helps you get into calorie deficit. It makes it easier to lose weight, I will say, but it's certainly not a walk in the park, and it's certainly not an easy way out. I hear it a lot. It winds me up, and it is deservedly pet peeve of the week. If you have got a pet peeve, leave it down below, mark it pet peeve, and it may well feature on pet peeve of the week on a future Saturday check-in video. What I will say is I absolutely love reading all your pet peeves, and the idea of this is kind of to incite a bit of conversation. I think we all pretty much hear the same stuff, and it's all very interesting. And it's kind of, if you've got a pet peeve of the week and I read it out and you can relate to that, then it's making you realise that that little thing that irritates you, that little part of this journey that's getting on your nerves, the little thing that somebody said that they didn't realise is hurtful towards you when you're trying your best to make yourself a better person, it makes you realise you're not alone. This is all about the community. It's all about sharing the knowledge that we've all got, that we're all learning as we go. And that's really important to me because without anyone watching these videos, there is no channel. So I want to thank you for watching and for being part of this journey, whether you've been here from the beginning or you've only recently found this channel. I genuinely appreciate every view, comment, message, subscription, all those things. If you've enjoyed today's video, please give it a like. It really does help the channel. It helps the algorithm and it helps me. And if you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you along for the rest of the journey. If you'd like to support the channel a little further, you can become a channel member. Members get early access to video, exclusive updates, and help support the future of the channel. And I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who's already joined. As always, the main content is always going to be right there. It's always going to be free. This is just an extra way to support the channel. You will also find some links in the description to some of the products and services that I personally use. I will only ever promote a product that I believe in, a product that I use, and a product that I think is worthwhile sharing with you, the people that watch these videos, including that magical belt that I just keep boring everyone to death about. Thanks ever so much for spending a little bit of your Saturday with me. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all on Wednesday.